I am too, actually. Well, I love
Not,
them.
of course I say that. I'm not wearing them yet. All right. All right, I think we will kick this off. Pleased to be joined now by Nelly Korda, the 2021 Women's PGA Champion. I'll just kick it off with one before opening it up to the rest of the crowd, but we haven't seen you in a little bit. What has it been like preparing for this week's major championship?
Yeah, I've been out since New Jersey a couple weeks ago. I think it was like 4 or 5. But it was nice to be at home. Obviously, getting ready for this major championship. Started kind of practicing a week and a half ago when I was all cleared to go 2 weeks ago. And yeah, I've just been kind of grinding away. Got out here, played 9 yesterday, played 18 today, and going to play the back 9 again tomorrow and tee it up Thursday, and I'm very excited.
What are some of your opening thoughts on Boultis Roll?
The first 4 holes are very crucial. I think if you get through the first 4 and even, I think that's a very big goal for the week, is getting through the first 4 holes and even. They're big, monstrous kind of holes. I mean, I know that the first hole is typically a par 5 for the members, and it's a pretty long par 4 for us. And then 2 is a very positional hole. 3 is also a pretty long hole, and then 4, obviously, that's kind of the signature hole over the water. So the first 4 holes pretty crucial, but overall, I think the golf course is very strong. The par 3s are pretty long and it's going to be a pretty interesting test this week. It's an amazing golf course.
All right, we'll get things started with Jeff.
Hey, Nelly. You won your KPMG title at a place with a lot of history.
Yeah.
As you come to another place with a lot of history, as you play your next major at Pebble Beach, what does that add to the chase of going after majors?
I mean, I feel like a major championship is a major championship at the end of the day. You know, that's kind of like the goal, is to perform the best that you possibly can at these majors. I mean, I think it's just a cherry on top to play at these golf courses that have so much rich history and that are honestly amazing pieces of property. I mean, when I just walked out here yesterday and I played the front 9, I couldn't believe at what kind of condition the golf course was in. And I think that the women's game is really making a step forward where we get to play all these historic venues.
Nelly, last time you took a break, you came back and played really well.
Mm-hmm.
Do you take any solace, or does it help your mindset knowing that you have that history after taking a break?
Yeah, I guess. I feel like every single time I've kind of taken a break, it's been for something else. Last year, I mean, was the blood clot at the beginning of the year, and this time it was just my lower back that I just wanted to make sure that it didn't turn into something worse. But yeah, it's sometimes nice to kind of reset after playing. I played 8 events. I think I skipped just 2 throughout the beginning of the year. So it's nice to take a step back, get a break in a sense, but I think it also makes you appreciate, playing out here, traveling, and getting to do what you love when it's kind of taken away from you, and you have to take a forced break.
All right.
Nelly, how different is this golf course and what it demands compared to a course you've seen regularly on the LPGA Tour?
All of it. You need length, you need to hit the fairways, and you need to position really well. The greens are pretty big and they're undulated. They're going to be fast. I don't know what the weather is going to be like. I feel like it's kind of changed every single day. I know that there's going to be some rain, but it's going to just take an overall really good score out here to win. Like, your game has to be good on all cylinders.
From like this big northeastern style with the big greens, the thick rough, being able to run it up to some of these greens, how do you practice differently for that in judging runouts and stuff like that?
Yeah, as I said, it just depends on if they get rain. Right now, I mean, they haven't gotten any since I've been here, so it is running out. It's firm. It has a little bit of a linksy style to it that you can run it up, and if you get in the rough, like, you have the opportunity, if there's not a bunker in front of it, to run it up. So It's going to be, I feel like, a fun test this week. I enjoy these kinds of golf courses where you have to kind of think a little bit more, and it's a very demanding golf course as well on the ball striking and putting. I feel like everything just has to click this week for you to perform well.
Hey, Nelly.
Hi.
Was it a shot that you hit, or was there a moment when your back really started to flare up? Any insight you can give us into when it started to feel bad?
Just kind of when I got back from New Jersey. It didn't feel right already there. So when I got home, I just talked with my doctor, and he recommended that I just take a couple weeks off to just rest it before, something else kind of flares up from it.
Is this the same area from Aronimink when you pulled out from this tournament?
Yeah, I typically, that's kind of what my back injury is just low back, yeah. There's a lot of torque in the golf swing. So I feel like I'm not the only golfer that kind of struggles with a low back. And also, you're traveling 4 weeks in a row, different beds, flying out right after your round. So sometimes you just tweak it and you just need to take rest.
Are you pain-free now?
Yeah, all good.
This golf course is unique. It closes with 2 par 5s,
Yeah.
2 of which you've really got to hit the fairway. Just kind of give your thoughts on those 2 par 5s and why is it so critical to hit the fairway on those holes?
I feel like it's very critical here to hit it on every fairway. The 17 is a very long par 5. It's going to take obviously it's a pretty narrow tee shot, and then there's a lot of bunkers in play on the second shot. If you're laying up, it will definitely not be reachable, especially if it's into the wind. I think that's what it's projected to be. And then even the third shot's really demanding with the bunkers around the green. So overall, I feel like that's a really strong and long hole. I mean, 2 of the par 5s are reachable, so obviously I think they're going to make one that's not reachable. So I would say 17 is going to play as a 3-shotter, and then obviously 18, if you're in the hunt, you have water down the left and pretty thick rough down the right, and if you're in the right rough, it makes that second shot pretty hard over the water. So I feel like it's just, in general, I mean, this rough is really thick. I've tried to hit 6 irons out, and they come out as knuckleballs and dead left, and I feel like it's just going to be a very crucial golf course to hit the fairways and greens. And I mean, you're going to see if it plays firm and fast, you're going to see a lot of people having 30-footers, for birdie.
We talked about your physical stamina, but mental stamina in this stretch. I mean, What did that 2-week break do for your mental stamina, and how do you kind of maintain that as we look ahead to this major and another one in a couple weeks?
Yeah, it's more of like, as I said, when it's kind of taken away from you, when you're having to take a forced break in a sense, you appreciate the life a little bit more. I mean, I feel like, I love the game of golf. I love competing. I have so much fun doing this and traveling that it just makes me appreciate it more. So a little bit more hungry.
Down in front to the left.
There's quite a bit of anticipation with this being Rose Zhang's first major as a pro. I wonder, from a player's perspective, what's your sense for the amount of buzz she is bringing to the sport and could bring to the sport in the future?
I think it's great. I mean, it was amazing to see that she won her first week out as a professional. I think it's going to be really good for the women's golf, and hopefully we have some great battles coming down the stretch over the years.
Is there anything about her game that really sticks out to you, and as far as what it is that makes her special?
I honestly, if I'm being completely honest, I haven't seen her play at all. I'm sure I'll see it now a lot, so maybe in a couple events if we're paired together, I'll give you my opinion. But I'm sure if she had an amazing junior career, college career, and she's gotten off to a really hot start, so I'm pretty sure all parts of her game are really good.
Nelly, being as young as you are and kind of dealing with these health situations, what kind of mental toll has that taken on you?
I mean, I've played the sport since I started walking, so I've dealt with injuries. I think coming from a family that has played sports throughout their entire life, it just comes with it. I mean, you look at so many athletes, they all go through something. I mean, I can only speak on, let's say, tennis, where you see Nadal, you know, he battles with so many injuries throughout his entire career. So it's something you constantly learn from. And I think the best thing about this sport is that no one knows everything, or any sport, is that you're constantly learning. So whenever, you know, I can learn from something, I hope that I can take that in and make myself a better person and golfer.
And then you mentioned the thick rough. Is there any tentativeness with your back coming out of the rough this week? Or
No, I honestly wouldn't be playing if I wasn't 100%. So, yeah.
Nelly, in your opinion, who do you think is the best player in the women's game right now?
I don't know. I would say this year, I mean, we've had a lot of really good golfers. A lot of really, I think Jin Young Ko, she's won twice this year, right? So if you're just going off of statistics, I would think Jin Young. But yeah, I guess I don't know. Yeah, Jin Young. I mean, there's so many good golfers out. Rose is 1 for 1 too, so she's pretty good. Yeah, gosh, I feel like it's hard to say on the women's side because like people really heat up. I know that Minji's been playing really well. Leona played really well last week. So the number one player, or the person that's playing the best, would be the number one player in the world, and that's Jin Young. So I would say Jin Young.
All right, 2 more, one over here.
Hey, Nelly, Gabby Ruffles is in the field this week. I know you guys are pretty close in age. Not sure how much you two know each other. What can you say about her kind of battle over the last couple months with missing Q School and then being the number one player on the Epson Tour now?
So I actually know her brother Ryan pretty well. We're the same age, so we've actually become pretty good friends over the past couple of years. He lives in Orlando. I don't know Gabby that well. I know Ryan a little better, but I think it's amazing. Obviously, it's hard to look at the positives when you do miss Q School, you miss signing up, and then you come out and play really well. So props to her for being mentally tough and taking that, I guess, in a sense, in a positive way and coming out and dominating the next year. I think she's a really good golfer. She hits it really well. I think she's strong too. So I think overall she has a good game, and hopefully we see her out here too.
All right, Jeff, and then we'll end with Steve.
Nelly, you had the win late last year. You played nicely early this year and along the West Coast. When you have a break like this, is it like starting anew, or do you pick up some of that momentum that you had built?
No, I think it's like starting new. I think all the momentum that you had kind of goes away because, I mean, I didn't touch a golf club for 2 weeks, right? So I think all the momentum that you had the first week back, you start fresh. But then obviously it's like going to the gym after a really long time. I mean, the first week is kind of tough, but then once you get into the groove of things, you kind of get it back.
All right, and then Steve?
Nelly, every major champion on this golf course has hit a fade, going all the way back to 1960. Is that typical of major championships? Is it just this golf course? And how do you feel that benefits you?
I had a draw, so I did not know that. Honestly, I mean, I'm trying to think. I mean, yes, I think if you know how to hit a draw and a fade, it benefits you. I've hit a draw, and I feel like I'm curving it away from the trouble as well. So I don't think it matters what you play as long as you hit it in the fairway and you get it on the green and get it in the hole. That's what matters, right?
All right, with that, we'll wrap it. Thanks,
Thank
Nelly.
you.